But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you just say, I'm gonna find the way or I'm gonna make the way. And a lot of times that's what people think I do, and it's the furthest thing from it. What happens though is people say to me, well, I don't need any motivation. And I say, well, that's interesting, that's not what I do. I'm the why guy. I don't know why you do what you do. What is your motive for action? What is it that drives you in your life today, not 10 years ago, or are you running the same pattern? Because I believe that the invisible force of internal drive activated is the most important thing in the world. I'm here because I believe emotion is the force of life. All of us here have great minds. You know, most of us here have great minds. I don't know if I'm in the category, but we all know how to think. And with our minds, we can rationalize anything, we can make anything happen. We can, I agree with what was described a few days ago about this idea that people work in their self-interest, but we all know that you don't work in your self-interest all the time. Because when emotion comes into it, the wiring changes in the way it functions. And so it's wonderful for us to think intellectually about how the life of the world is, and especially those who are very smart. We can play this game in our head, but I really want to know what's driving you. And what I'd like to maybe invite you to do by the end of this talk is explore where you are today for two reasons. One, so that you can contribute more.
When you're trying to become successful, it doesn't matter what you've done, but it matters what you're doing now. So you shouldn't let the past affect your future. As long as your future path is something of positivity and encouragement, and you're doing the right thing not only for your life, but for those around you. If you've had a troubled past, only do the best thing that you can do now, because it matters what you're doing. Nobody should worry about the past and what you've done, but should be mattered about what you're and how you're improving upon yourself every single day, because everybody has to start from somewhere and move up to somewhere else. So that's what you need to do, is make sure you're motivated every single day to improve upon yourself, and make sure that other people know that you aren't the best person, but you're trying every single day to get there. You're trying to improve upon your life skills and anything that can possibly benefit you for the future and down the line, because that's what you're focused on now. Not what you've done, but what you're doing and what you could potentially do, because you are that excited about your future, and you know your future is the future. It's not determined yet. It hasn't been set in stone, so you have the ability to go out there and make a great future for you, no matter what's happened in the past. So that should be the mindset for you. Always try to be better than you were the day before. No matter what's happened before, always focus on the after and the next.
Well, my mom, I was going to USC. I wanted to be a sports. I was taking journalism. I was getting a scholarship. And then I had some major challenges with my family. I had to take care of them. And then my mom got very upset. I have 4 different fathers. So I kind of had to take over. And so I went and started my first business at 17. And I started from there. It was working for a man named Jim Rohn. And then I started off and became a seminar broker. I actually filled other people's seminar events. And then I got better than the people I was promoting. And after a while, I decided, heck, I should do my own. And then I began to just expand and do work. And when I started turning around athletes and Olympic athletes, and I got to Nelson Mandela and Mother Teresa, and then I got to President Clinton, and it just grew. There's a daily practice like priming. If you don't do that, if you get up and you just have no discipline whatsoever, you get no value of anything. You know, diets don't work when you don't do them. Exercise doesn't work when you don't do them. But most of the people have some experiences that they want to shift. And once you shift those things, your whole life changes. But life is constant growth. My life isn't here because I went to one seminar one time and now my life is fit for life. I work out, I train my mind, I train my body, and it becomes a lifestyle. There's only one way you succeed long term. Anybody can get lucky, do something for a period of time, but real success in any measure whatsoever comes when you do more for others than anybody else. There's no other way to do it. You find a way to add more what? Value. And if we find the way to add more value, we can be superior in the marketplace, but we can also be superior in our own lives. We can enjoy our lives at a different level. We can have a different set of pride that isn't fake. It's not ego. Ego is when you try to make it better than it is, and you know the truth is it's not. But when you really are in a position, when you're in a position where you own what you're about and you know what you're here to deliver, and you deliver it on a significant scale, then you have an opportunity to really experience not only success but fulfillment. And this conference has gotten bigger and bigger, not only in its size but also in its impact. And so I'm really privileged to be back with you here. And I know you're working to raise 1 million meals, and I'm very, very into hunger, to say the least, primarily because I was so hungry at a stage of my life. And my life was completely changed because when I was 11 years old, we had no money and no food, and we've gotten used to that, but it was Thanksgiving, which makes it more emotional. What do I have to do versus what do I really want to accomplish? Would that change the way you feel about your life, yes or no? How does it feel with have to do? See, RPM, when you finally learn it, has many pieces to it. Above all else, it's a thinking process, and better thinking creates better results. It's that simple. So you don't have to ever use a piece of paper to think this way. From now on, all this stuff's happening, you go, what's my outcome? What am I really after? What do I want? What's the specific results? Like, what's the target? Let's chunk up. I don't ever go in a meeting with anyone. What do you think the first words out of my mouth are when I sit down in a meeting after the hellos and the proper connections? What do you say? I always say, what are the outcomes for this meeting? Because how long the meeting is based on getting the results that we're there for. It makes a much more fulfilling life. Or if you can't get in that time, you know that outcome's still not done. We got to come back and get that outcome done. Why is this something that really is a must for me? I don't have to do it. I want to do this. Why is this transformative? What's exciting about this to me? And almost all of you have certain key words that are triggers for you. And language shapes your emotion.
So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you all haven't already, please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on that bell for notifications. And let us know what you thought down in the comment section down below.